Good morning. Good to have you on the line, Robert. Thanks so much for your time.
Good morning. Good morning, Leanne, and morning to the viewers.
Firstly, talk to me about what's happening on scene this morning. What's going on?
Yeah, this morning we are back on scene. We are continuing with the firefighting operations since we had a reignition earlier on this morning. So the firefighters are back on the ground extinguishing that building, which unfortunately we lost our 3 colleagues, and also 8 other firefighters were hospitalized, and some of them were later on discharged yesterday.
Okay, so Robert, the blaze, was it going through the whole of last night as well? So
yes,
there's nothing new this
morning.
morning. It's not new that it's reignited. It's been going since yesterday. You're still trying to battle it.
Yes. It's actually we actually extinguished it throughout the night. And however, overnight we had challenges with pressure, water supply in the area, since we didn't have enough pressure for firefighting operations. So this morning we will be continuing with firefighting operation, Leanne, taking into considerations the safety of our personnel while they're extinguishing that fire. So we'll make sure that every time when we go into that building, we ensure that everybody who gets into the building is safe to conduct firefighting operations, so that we can be able to prevent what happened yesterday morning.
Okay, Robert, I need to ask a couple of questions, because I think that many South Africans are very concerned at this point about the safety of the firefighters that going into the building, that went into the building and lost their lives. In terms of having a charge line, many saying that there was no charge line amongst the firefighters that entered the building. Can you confirm this? Was there a charge line or was there not?
At this stage, I think those allegations will be ventilated when we conduct our investigations. I think right now we don't want to speculate as to what transpired before the incident where we lost our colleagues. So that information we will be getting after we have conducted the thorough investigations as to what transpired during this fire incident.
Yeah. All right. So, in other words, I don't suppose I can ask you the questions about whether they had a radio with them, whether they had proper, adequate ventilation with them. Did they have masks? Did they have any? I mean, surely this is standard operational procedures.
Yes. In terms of the firefighting equipment which they're supposed to use. For instance, all the crews who entered the building, they had their full protective clothing on. They had the full breathing apparatus, which includes the breathing apparatus and also the face mask. So in terms of their PPE or protective clothing, all the firefighters had their required protective clothing.
So all of that was had. My other question to you is the state of the training that the firefighters and emergency personnel have received. Some people saying that they were not equipped to deal with a situation like this. Can you comment on it?
Leanne, firefighting, I think right now that we have had this tragedy, where people will come up with a lot of maybe consent regarding our the training, which is might be a valid concern. However, from our side as emergency services, our training is continuous, because every time we try and make sure that we meeting the international standards of firefighting operations. So from our side, we believe that all the firefighters who are within the services who are hired within the city of Johannesburg emergency services are capable of dealing with all fire, and rescue emergency situations. Hence, we now and then continue to equip them, on a continuous basis to make sure that they maintain the level of, competency and skills to be able to deliver effective emergency services to all our residents throughout the city of Joburg.
Yeah. And just, Robert, I know these are difficult questions for you to have to respond to at a time where, firstly, 3 lives have been lost. You've still got 4 that are in hospital, and it's not a nice time. But unfortunately, South Africans have been speaking about this for quite some time, is the lack of emergency vehicles. The fact that some of these fire engines are not working, that they have been sitting in workshops more than they are on the roads. And this is something I know, and I'm saying it's not your fault, but these are problems that have been around for a while, and now we're seeing it play out. In terms of the equipment that you guys have got, and particularly when it comes to the fire engines, how many do you have operational?
I think in the end, we cannot shy away. I mean, I think we have acceded to the fact that we confirmed earlier on when we had inquiries regarding our fire engines, and we have confirmed that at this stage, we are having a shortages in terms of the fire engines due to the fact that we took a longer period of time to replace, our aging fleet. Our fleet is as old as some fire engines are as old as 15 to 20 years have been in operations. So these fire engines, Leanne, and the viewers out there are spending a lot of time at the workshops being repaired instead of spending a lot of time servicing our residents. Yeah. However, we are doing something about it. In the last few months, I think about 5 months ago, we have already replaced 5 brand new fire engines and also 2 refurbished fire engines to address that situation. At this stage, we are, throughout the city of Johannesburg, we have about 30 fire stations. Ideally, we're supposed to have 30 fire engines, which is each and every station is supposed to have a first turnout vehicle, which is capable of rendering firefighting operations and rescue work on each of these 30 fire stations. However, at this stage, we have half of those, which is about 15 fire engines, which are operational throughout the city, which are not enough. Hence, we have already started with our, tender process to replace, all our fleet in the organization, so that we actually permanently eradicate the challenges we have of our vehicles all the time, spending time at the workshops, and so that the vehicles can be out there servicing our communities. However, in the meantime, our residents can be rest assured that there is no emergency which we are not going to be able to respond to because of the shortages. Okay. We have strategically placed our vehicles according to the risk throughout the city, so that we can effectively manage these incidents which we'll be receiving, while on the other side we are in the process of procuring these new vehicles.
Okay, we have to leave it there. Johannesburg Emergency Management Services spokesperson Robert Muluadzi talking to us here on the program after the blaze, and ensuring us that they will attend to emergency situations even though there is a shortage and the equipment is not as much as they would like, and there is a shortage of vehicles, and we do know that. We've been complaining about this for quite some time, and now we get to a position where we're talking about the loss of 3 lives, and we'll get to the bottom of it as soon as investigations reveal their results.